Hi there and welcome to this 2-minute tips video, and in this video we're going to look at a piece of functionality called easy exposure compensation. As I've said in a number of previous videos, I'm finding the capability to assign exposure compensation to the lens ring on the Z series lens is really useful, particularly in combination with the histogram in the EVF. However, if you're not shooting with Z-mount lenses, you may be shooting with F-mount lenses or perhaps third-party lenses. You don't have a lens ring that you can customize necessarily. And this is where easy exposure compensation comes in. Easy exposure compensation only works in program mode, shutter mode and aperture mode. And what it allows you to do is use the dial that you're not using to adjust the aperture or the shutter to adjust exposure compensation. So for example, if you're in aperture mode and you're using the front command dial to adjust your aperture, you can use the rear command dial to adjust your exposure compensation. So let's look at how we set it up. If we go into our custom settings menu and we go to B, metering and exposure, option B2 is where you find easy exposure compensation. And within here we've got three options. We've got on auto reset, where we can turn the functionality on and we can adjust the exposure compensation. We're using the dial that we're not using for either shutter or aperture, and it will remember the exposure compensation until you turn the camera off or the camera goes to sleep, and then it will reset the exposure compensation back to neutral. If you have it set as on, it will remember where you have put the exposure compensation even when you turn the camera off or it goes to sleep, and off obviously turns the functionality off. I think it's quite useful for when you're not shooting with a Z-mount lens and perhaps you want to be able to adjust the exposure compensation and use the histogram in the EVF, but you don't have the customizable lens ring that you do with the Z-mount lenses. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, subscribe below, hit the notification bell, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video.